You know you want one of these. Yeah, go ahead, say it. You want one of these. I don't care if you're some macho stud out there, you still want one of these. You don't have to say anything in the comments. We'll just keep it between ourselves. But this is Little. That's truly her name, Little. And she's one of the type of dogs that Kira, my wife, will call a tiny. She has a real affinity for the tinies, and so do I. We own two Morkies, little Maltese Yorkie mixes named Dave and Poe, and we love the tiny little dogs. But the problem with tiny little dogs is that their training can be 10 times harder than your larger dogs. It really can be. For example, housebreaking. Good luck catching a little dog like this trying to go potty in your house. And not only that, but if you start training this little dog to walk and it becomes too much of an ordeal, then just like I'm doing, pick it up and say, let's go, and you're gone. So therefore, the incentive to train these little dogs is not as great as if you own a big 80-pound lab. Oh my gosh, you got to get that housebreaking done in a heartbeat. And because that thing can pull you down the street, you also have to get that healing done in a heartbeat. But the tinies here, they kind of get a little overlooked, and there was no pun intended in that. They're just a tiny little dog. One of the things that's special about them is that once they pick up on things, they're really sharp too. And again, part of that is just being in a world in which you're tiny in a giant world. And that can really affect your training in the beginning, but in the long run, once they learn something, I'm telling you what, they seem to pick it up a lot faster, and they also seem to retain a lot longer than a lot of your larger dogs. And those of you who own tinies, you probably know that. But whenever you start out to train tinies, you really have to do several things. One, all your movements have to be slower. Because think about it. You look down here at my foot, and as soon as I put Little on the ground, my foot's going to take on the shape and size of an SUV. So therefore, walking next to them is like an earthquake happening every single movement, and I could get run over by this big thing. So they're a little apprehensive. That means that we have to move a little slower when we train them. We also have to allow them to walk a little further away from us. Because again, it's kind of like a trust but verify type thing. Hey, that's a big foot you have there. I don't want you to step on me. Step on an 80-pound lab. Ouch. Okay, my bad. It's over. But you step on one of these little guys, and you can find yourself at the emergency veterinarian. So we've got to be really careful with them. So anything that you do with them has to be slow, really methodical. You have to control the dog. You have to allow the dog to be further away from you. And also, you have to have the patience of Job. And there are some special little techniques that I've incorporated over the years to train these little tinies. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, we talked about the training tables. Those tables are designed to make sure that dogs don't make big mistakes. But if I took Little out there on one of our training tables right now, again, like I said yesterday, it would be like putting her on a 4-lane highway. You're definitely going to defeat the purpose of having a training table. She can make all sorts of big mistakes. So let me show you how we started training Little here. Okay, so I'm going to put her on the ground. Now all I have on her is just a little kennel lead, a little slip lead. And I'm going to put her on the ground. Okay. There we go, Little. Look at her looking into that camera there. Now, one of the ways I adjust my technique in the very beginning with these small dogs is take your leash, and if the dog is going to walk on your left side, wrap the leash starting from the front around your leg and then up. And now hold it with your right hand. What this will do will require several things. One, when I start, she will have to start. Number two, because I had this leash wrapped around my leg, it will make me walk slower. It will make me think about each and every step I take. And that is vitally important. Otherwise, you frighten one of these tinies, it is game over. They'll never want to walk with you again. So let me demonstrate this little technique here. Ready? Heel. So we get going. And as you see with the leash wrapped around my leg, it requires me to walk slower, but also it requires me to not only pay attention to what I'm doing, because I have to maintain the amount of slack on the leash here. And you see her watching, and if I move, she moves. And then when I come to a stop, give a little pull up on the leash, and I start creating that nice little automatic sit. Heel. And you saw she laid down there, because yesterday we spent about 100 repetitions working on downing yesterday. Heel. So again, this forces the dog to walk next to me, so it's like being on a training table. But also when I move, my movements have to be slow and methodical. And then when I come to a stop, bingo, we reward that nice little automatic sit. And I'm not going to give you all of that because we'll be here for 5 minutes while you chew it up. So make sure your rewards are tiny as well. Okay, so once you do this, the biggest thing behind this technique here is run it around your leg. You can adjust the slack. You can pull on it a little bit here. Heel. It just forces the dog to go exactly when you go. And then after a period of time, a couple days of training, or about 150 repetitions between heel and the final product of sitting, then you will be ready to take the leash off of your leg. Nicely done, little. Oh my goodness gracious. You are a beautiful little dog. All right, so now I'm going to take the leash off of my leg. And let's see what we get. Heel. Nicely done. Moving along with me. Turning again. No problem. Good. Watch those left turns. Come to a stop. Beautiful. Beautiful job. Way to go, little. Okay, and we teach the down. We're just same thing. Slow movement on the foot. Down. There we go. Wow, all that training we did yesterday with little starting to pay off. There we go. And one little difference I do with the down is, and I'll be explaining how to teach your dog to lie down in some upcoming videos. But for today, notice the difference between the sit and the down. When I have her lie down, I place the treat right there between her paws. That forms a great posture, but it also helps the dog associate that the ground has the treat. In other words, going to the ground is great, so our focus is on the ground, not so much on me. If I hand a treat to a dog, if it's a smart dog, it does exactly that. And it kind of counters my down. She's basically saying, hey, Bryan, you're really tall. Tell you what, save your back. I'll come up and get the treat on my own. So you don't want to do that. Down. Down. Good. Put the treat on the ground, and you won't have the issue with the dog trying to stand up prematurely. Okay, leash is off the dog. Heel. And we go. And notice I'm step off every single time with my left foot. I want to do everything here right now, still while we're training, just as though the leash were wrapped around my leg. I turn the same way. If I have any issue with the dog lagging behind, I'll step into the leash with my leg, let the leash rub against my leg. Heel. And it'll simulate as though the leash were wrapped around my leg. Okay, when I turn to the right, same thing. And then we come to a stop. Very good. All right, and also we've been working on place. The biggest difference with place with these tiny dogs is if you use a platform, make sure they can get on it. Make sure they have the ups to get onto the platform. Other than that, they have a tendency to kind of run around on the platform. So once I have the tiny hop up on the platform, then I'll kind of pull on the leash. And what I'm doing is I'm evoking opposition reflex. Someday, stand still yourself, plant your feet on the ground, don't move them. Hold the end of a leash and have someone pull it. And you'll notice that you'll start to pull back because you don't want to topple over on your face. Same thing with these little tinies. I want to set that behavior. Once she gets on that little cut over there, I don't want her doing laps on it, not focusing on what she's supposed to be doing. I'm going to set that behavior. Ready? Heel. Place. Good job. And right there, I'm going to see there, I set the behavior. I just kind of pulled on the leash, and notice she fought that back. And by doing that, she immediately became still, and now I can hand her the reward. Stay. Once she's had her treat, I'll use the word stay to walk away. And anytime I start getting any sort of exaggerated movement, I'll just pull on that leash. And you'll see the dog settle down nicely. Because why? They're fighting to hold that spot. Good job, little. Tiny little treats. Okay, now I'm going to get her off the cot. Ready? She's not paying attention to me, so I'm going to wait. Remember, attention, motivation, cognition. Previous videos. Free. Free. There we go. Heel, and I'm going to roll right into a heel. And now I can start to pick up my pace a little bit. And always adjust your pace. Remember, these guys, gosh, they have tiny little legs. Don't be taking huge, exaggerated strides when you walk the tinies. And in the beginning, everything has to be slow, thought out, pre-planned. Why you have to have the patience of Job when you work the tinies, plus a really good skill set. So just in review real quick, when you first start off, take your leash here in the front of your body, wrap it around your left leg, and you'll see the line like a barber pole just below your knee. And then when you leave, say the word heel. Remember, we always say then do. And then step into the leash. Heel and step in. And if you do this, guys, I promise you, you will get the same results that I'm getting with little here. No big deal. You'll have this thing working like a champ. Sit. Good. And we're going to kind of require that sit for right now. I didn't ask for down. But if I do, then I'll want little to do it. Take a bite of that. Good job. All righty. Free. Little. Hop up here. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, don't get the leg tight in my leg there. Little. Okay, so if you want a tiny, hey, be patient. Incorporate these techniques in your walk, in your sit, in your down. If you do place, as soon as the pup hops up on the cot or the mat or whatever it is that you use, set that behavior by evoking that opposition reflex. Alrighty, we'll have more videos on training tinies because I'll tell you what, they may be little, but it takes a whole lot more to train them than it does the large dogs. All right, if you found this video helpful, you guys know the rules by now because this is day 33 of the 365-day journey to helping you guys have a better relationship with your dog. Please share it. And also, it's Friday the 13th, so keep a little extra eye out for things happening around the world right now. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.